I'm Veronique.
And I'm Silvia,
Welcome to the High Vibes and the Mind podcast.
where multicultural moms connect. Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. Hi Vibes and a Mic here. I'm Silvia and I'm with Veronique. How are you, Veronique?
I'm good. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. So today we are going to talk about signs we are becoming our parents, which is a very, very alarming thing.
Yes.
So, we have a lot to talk about that. I think, like some funny stories about, once you're raising kids, you're gonna end up acting like your parent. There's even that
Yes.
commercial. I don't know if you've seen Veronique, the
Oh my
commercial.
God. Are you in
It's
my
so
head?
funny. I love that commercial.
Sylvia, are you in my head right now? I was going to say, this commercial is
Oh yeah,
particularly my favorite. Yes. What are you with those guys? He looks like Dr. Phil, right?
yeah. Progressive, I think.
Progressive is like,
Insurance.
so no, we don't clean our trash outside or whatever. And no, we don't need all those pillows.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so funny. Like
Mm,
there is always something different, and it's always
yes.
funny.
Yes. It's so unbelievable that we talk about that. I was going to say that. I was going to say, that's commercial. That's
Ah,
exactly what we're not supposed to do.
oh, you see, it's a connection, the mind connection there.
Oh my God. Best, yeah,
So
best commercial ever.
it is. And when I started seeing that commercial, that's when I started thinking about those things. I'm like, oh my God, yes, that's right. With the tools, like fixing things around the house, all that. Like, it is so funny.
Oh
The
my
way you
God, yes.
end up dressing like your parents. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So for you, Veronique, what do you think? What is one of the things that he can get started?
So actually you just say it. I didn't even think about it, but dressing.
Oh, dressing.
Yes. I dress like my mom now, I think, because we never had the same taste, especially like shoes or stuff like that. I always like, big shoes, comfortable, and she's always in high heels. She will never wear, sometimes she wear flats if we are in the Caribbean, but she
Hmm.
always in heels. You will never see her in sneakers. You will never see her, always high heel, boots or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. So the shoes, no, I don't wear heels or stuff like that, but I wear boots. But the clothes, now I think I start to really dress like her, because even when I buy clothes for her, that's clothes I would buy for me, and she loves it. She's like, oh, this is so
Mm.
nice. And so we have the same taste. So I'm like, wait a minute, did I become my mom? We have the same taste in clothing now? What the heck?
Uh,
And yeah, now I can choose clothes for her very easily, because that's my own. I think that's her taste that she gave me, I guess. And also hats. I never wear hats before. So now starting to wear
mm.
more, because we're living under sunny weather, California.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I wear a hat like every day, and my mom never goes out, without a hat. She always have a hat on, lipstick, high heels.
Yeah, just the high heels are missing then.
Maybe, she's in her 60s, almost 70s, so maybe, I still have some times and doing my high heels. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of stuff I'm trying not to do, actually, like my mom, like in the
Mm.
commercials,
Yes, for sure.
because there was a lot of stuff, she was doing when I was little, that was like getting on my nerves. And I think the
Hmm.
first one is the yelling. The
Oh,
yelling
uh-huh.
24/7. So, we're Caribbean people, hot blood. She was raised, with 8 siblings. So, of course, her mom didn't have any time. And my grandma yelled all the time. She had nine
Uh-huh.
kids. So, of course, she had to yell, and tell all the names before she got to the person she
Oh,
wanted.
yes. Yeah. Which is a good one too. Yeah.
Actually, I do that with my kids too now. No, I only have two, and I can't even say the right name. But yeah, so my mom, so she took that from her mom, of course. And I always told myself, if I have kids, I'm not gonna yell at them, because she was yelling for anything, like, but for anything. She was always, I guess, no, she was overwhelmed. A lot of stuff was going on. Single mother, young mother. So I understand. It was back
Hmm.
in the days. But me, I did completely opposite. I waited to be married. I wanted somebody with me to raise the kid. I never wanted to raise kids alone. I knew I couldn't do it. There was no way. I wouldn't have the strength.
Mhm.
So I have a partner, to help me and to do that together. And my mom, she noticed that. And when she come to visit and said, and she started yelling, for instance, at my daughter for anything, when my daughter is like, no, I don't want to do this or whatever. First of all, before we start yelling, I ask her why. Why don't you want to do it? Because she might have a good,
Mhm.
a good reason why she cannot do it. And most of the time she does, okay? And my mom is like, why are you asking? She doesn't have she doesn't have the right, to say no, or she doesn't have any rights. If she says something, has to go now, and she doesn't have the right to say no. She has to do whatever you said. I said, no, 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 we're gonna stop the cycle right there of the yelling and ordering kids like they are your little slave or your little servant. I'm
Yeah,
communicating with my kids. I want to communicate with them. I don't want them to be afraid to talk to me. So that's the one thing. The yelling, I don't want to yell, and and yelling all day long, you get brain damage.
Mhm.
Right? If you yell like that, you're gonna get yourself, I don't know, like heart attack or something. I don't
I
know. She
know.
she did it.
Like constantly
Yelling
yelling
about
now. Yeah, it's too
for
much. It's
everything.
exhausting.
It's always
Yeah.
exhausting, right? So I'm like, no, no,
Hmm.
no. The yelling and no, that's one thing. So I'm not repeating that pattern. I don't want to. I was repeating pattern, the reacting all pattern. Um, so I read something that I actually I'm trying to remodel my behavior because that's in my blood, right? To sometimes I want to react,
Hmm.
and there's before I'm gonna let you talk, of course, but there's another thing also something I do and I'm trying not to trying always to control myself is sometimes I can get very like mad very quickly, and that's what she does also. She get mad very quickly, like with
Hmm.
people like customer service or people like that, like in a restaurant, in a grocery stores,
Oh, yeah.
driving. She gets mad and she gets in people's face very
Oh.
very fast. Like no, that's not what I said. She will start,
Uh-huh.
get mad very, very quickly. And I do that. I can do that too. Sometimes when I'm mad, every time I do that, Pascal is like, oh
Making a
no.
scene. Oh my God.
Did,
Uh-uh.
did I tell you about, I told you about Martinique, right? When we were, no, was it, no, in Guadeloupe. When we came back, that lady was in my face. And I told you I almost got into a fight at the airport.
Oh yeah, at the airport. You said something. There was some drama, but I don't think you told the whole story. No.
Oh my God, I'm gonna love that. I can't believe I forgot to tell you that story. And
Yeah.
that's exactly. Tell me how you would have react, but I reacted exactly like my mom would have. Exactly, no patience.
Hmm.
Like so, we go to
Hmm.
the line. We in the line. We're queuing to. So somebody's checking your passport before you go to check in, right? We're
Yeah.
in
Hmm.
Guadeloupe, and we're traveling with American Airlines. So most of the people in the flight are Americans or English-speaking people. So, but I am in Guadeloupe. We speak French. This is my country. Obviously, I'm speaking French with my kids and husband. You can see I'm French. So the lady in the front is like, blah, 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 speaking to me in English. And I know she's from the country. I know she's French, right? But she speaks like a good English, but with an accent. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And I reply in French. Oh, yeah, here's my passport. And she replied to me in English. So how long are you going to stay? Yeah. How long are you going to stay in America? Blah, blah. And I replied in French. We live there. This is where we live. And every time
Hmm.
she replied to me in English. And she
But
wants
you
to force
didn't.
me to speak English.
But you didn't ask her. Like, do you speak French?
I know she speak. I heard her speaking French. I can hear the accent. So I'm like,
Hmm.
she's like, but you speak English. I'm like, in French. I said, yes, I do. But you speak French, right? When in Guadeloupe, right? You speak French. She's like, so she replied in French. Yeah, yeah, I speak French, but I know that you've been living there for a long time. I know that this is where you live, so I know you speak English. And I'm like, so what? So,
But yeah, but
so
why
what?
is she? Did she want to practice her English or something? Like, what are you doing?
And
This
I
is
was
so
supposed to, if
weird.
she
It
wants to
was weird.
practice,
Yeah.
practice, practice with the people behind me. Why are you trying to force me to speak English? I don't want to speak
Yeah.
English right
It
now.
is awkward. It's awkward when you know the other person knows the language you're talking about. It's so
Thank you.
awkward.
Sorry. Thank you very much. So Pascal, of course. So I'm getting hot, right? All right,
Hmm.
this biatch better. So and she's like, okay. So and she's continuing English, and I'm like
Oh
looking at her
my
like
god.
saying nothing, like Pascal, just take over because I'm like I cannot talk to that woman. And you can see my face, of course, my body language, everything. And she continues in English, and I'm like, so can we go now? In French, can we go? Because you're not the
Uh-huh.
agent who's going to check me in, right? You're just checking if I'm the right visas or whatever. Obviously, we
Hmm.
all have American passport. Can we go now? What do you want? What do you want from us?
Yeah. Do you want to
And I
speak
was,
English with you?
yes, is it English courses? And I was going to tell her, I was going to ask her, what do you want from me? In French, I was going to
Mhm.
say, what do you want from me? And she's like, okay, you can go now. Oh, fucking
Oh
Christ, I'm
my god, that's
so
annoying. That's totally annoying. I can see that.
like, and I'm in the line, and Pascal's like, oh my God. And he's like, he hates when I do a scene, when I make a scene. Because
Hmm.
he's really like someone, always discreet. And he's like, oh, why did you have to get mad? You always have to get mad. I'm like, oh, are you on her side? Didn't you see that circus she was doing? Oh, she took it. She's like, okay, 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 because I'm start yelling. Right? I'm like, he's like, what's up, stop, stop. She's going to hear us. I'm like, okay. What's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? She's gonna stop us from traveling? What's she gonna do? I'm like,
Cancel
listen,
the visa. It's like, I'll
she's
cancel
not
the
even.
passport. Oh gosh.
She doesn't
That's too
even work
much.
for the company, for the airline. She works for the airport. Who cares? She's not gonna
Oh
stop us or what?
please.
She works in security. She doesn't even work for the airline. So give me a break. So that
Speaking
was my
in
mom.
English, that's completely. Yeah. I mean,
But we
for the
also,
foreigners, if the listeners who are foreigners, you understand, right? Because it's just so awkward. And like if I'm talking to a Brazilian, I'm like, Portuguese, right? I'm not gonna be talking in English with you. If you have an accent, I have an accent. Why am I gonna? It's weird. There's no need for that. It's ridiculous.
I will speak English to Pascal all day long at home. Excuse
Hmm.
me? No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. Oh my God.
No.
If I know you speak the same language, I'm going to speak the language. Why am I speaking English to you? Ridiculous.
Jeez.
So that person right there was that was my mother. That was my mom talking. That wasn't me. I mean, that wasn't somebody else, or the person I'm trying to be calm and everything. That was
Hmm.
100% my mom. So yeah, for that, I am my mother. That's for sure. Losing my temper, losing my cool for stupid stuff like that, like driving. Or I had a
Driving.
road rage 2 days ago. I had a road rage.
Oh
That was
no,
my
but
mom.
you have to be careful. That's something that my dad did a lot too. And I was doing that for the longest time, but I'm like, I can be shot and killed here. Maybe
I
not a
know,
good
I
idea.
know.
California is
But
not one of the safest places to be. You don't
yeah,
know the type of person who's gonna be inside a car, you
I
know?
know, but it took
It's
me by
crazy.
surprise. I'm entering the highway. I'm entering the highway, and I want at one moment, the people arriving on the right lane, they're going to be behind you or in front of you, right? So
Yeah.
I'm entering very fast for the person behind me not to have to stop, right? Because I'm entering,
Hmm.
because some people,
Yeah.
they enter the highway at 20 miles an hour. Can you
Yeah.
hurry? I'm behind you.
Yeah.
This guy accelerate. He
Oh, I,
accelerate to try to pass me
yeah.
over. So we're both in the same line. I'm like, what is he doing? We're traveling
Sometimes people
close
do
with
that.
each other.
Yeah. It's just completely ridiculous.
This is the first time I see that. This is the
Oh
first time
yeah?
somebody. And I look at him, and he look at me, he's like mad. I'm like, and I was like, look at my finger. This is my finger. And after road rage, I was with Eden. Road rage,
Oh.
I just like went to the other line, and I'm like, you know what? Stay in your slow lane because I don't care. I have a fast pass. I'm going all the way left anyway, so F you.
I've seen people doing that though. They accelerate instead of slowing down, they speed up. And then I'm like, hello, can't you see people are entering? Like merging that lane?
And your
Calm
car
down.
is trash. Your car is not going to go faster than mine. Why are you accelerating? And I'm coming fast for you not to have to do. You don't have to do that. I'm coming very fast this way. You don't have to. You don't have
Yeah.
to slow down. Don't worry. There's for everybody.
Just
Let
be
me just.
careful with the crazy people because and the nasty ones, can
I know,
just
I know.
do
But
whatever.
I was really surprised. That never happened to me before. Somebody driving next to me in the same line.
And he was trying to go faster than you with an old car falling apart.
He was trying to go faster than me in the same line. And then I'm like, yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I'm not going to race with you. I don't care. Go ahead. Still F you though. F you though.
And the middle
Fuck that.
finger and
Middle
everything.
finger for you. All
I
right.
used to do that a lot too. But then my dad, like, actually
Yeah.
was who was that? Patrick's sister. One time she saw me like losing my shit in the car, and I think
Really?
she told Patrick, she's like, "Oh, you like drive like being like having some road rage stuff going on
Oh
there."
my
And I'm like,
God.
"Oh yeah." And I had Michael was very small at the time, and I'm like, "I'm not gonna do this. I have to control myself." Sometimes it's almost impossible, but especially the type of car, the looks of the person in the car, I look first before I can.
Oh,
I'm gonna react because I don't know. There's some crazy people out there that if the car is all black, like the windows, tinted windows, I'm like, better not mess up with that one.
no. It's always a freaking man. Can you calm down? What's the man like
Yeah,
acting
or women
stupid like
who are
that?
very dumb. Like I mean,
Oh,
dumb. Like
them. Yeah,
like
they don't
try
know what they're
very
doing.
slow. Yeah, like
Uh,
where do I turn here,
no, but
turn there.
remember that guy who was like trying to race with us and he followed us all the way to In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah, I remember that story. Yeah, that was crazy.
Pascal, I'm like, oh my God, you guys and your testosterone. But when you have those road rage, you just forget that you have a kid at the back.
hmm Yeah, the kid is right there. Like, what are you doing, mom?
Oops, I forgot I had a baby there.
I did something, I think,
Oh,
actually, like 2 days ago, or maybe it was yesterday. Talking about, I think we have to change the subject of the road rage, like
road
change the
rage.
topic.
Well, your dad was doing road rage, so
He was, yeah. See, like
it's a
now
subject.
I do the same. It was something like, "What are you doing? Like, come on, you're dumb, like dumb bitch." Like, so, and then the kids are in the car, Michael, Sean, and kind of like looking like with their face. I'm like, I didn't just see what they were doing. Like, did you see like she was all like across in front of me? It was something like bad but I cursed the person. I'm like, go! What are you doing? Just go! So it's, but my dad used to do those crazy stuff. I don't know how he's still alive, especially in Rio, because the things that he did, and with us in the car too. And you just
Yeah,
like go
because
lose shit totally, like just go crazy and like,
you
okay,
lose it. You forget everything. You forget like because people are sometimes so outrageous. You're like, how dare you? And you just lose it.
how can you do this?
Anything
Well,
about
no,
your mom?
no, about yeah, like without being related to road rage, which is like first part of the podcast of the episode gonna be road rage. Second part,
Road rage?
but they're
Absolutely.
all connected in a way. And my dad
Yeah.
too is the one in the family with a tough person, like a strong personality. So he is the
Mhm.
one who like fight for things or go and talk. Like if you want something done, he would go. Not my mom. My mom is always like very passive and calm, but my dad
Yeah.
was the one, and I took after him as well of just going
Mhm.
like things like that. Yeah, customer service or like a neighbor who's being an ass,
Neighbor.
which happened
Oh
one
my
time.
God.
I was pregnant with Sean, and Patrick's like, "Oh, can you just be calm?" Because it's probably like, oh, she's like Latina, like losing her shit. Look at her, like the neighbors, right? They're probably thinking, like, I don't care. And I started yelling and going like, I'm gonna park the way I wanna park. And it was about
Oh yeah.
parking the way we were parking the cars. It was completely crazy. So like I'm the one, and my dad was like, "Oh, you're the one with the temper here." But like, yeah, but you too. So, but one thing that I've noticed that I've been doing, like as I get old, like wiser. Let's put it this way,
Yes.
wiser, more experience. Silly things, but it's actually annoying me because I hated when my mom did that.
Yeah.
Talking to herself while she's doing
Oh,
stuff around the house, talking
really?
loud, like thinking loud, like, oh yeah, then I
Oh,
have to do this, and then I have to, oh yeah, shoot, I was supposed to, and then I catch myself doing that. I'm like, no, no, I can't do this. Because every time I see her doing, I'm like, are you okay? Who are you talking to? Do you have a problem? Like, and then I
a lot
catch
of
myself doing that too.
a
Oh
lot of
God, I hate it.
parents do that. A lot of parents do that.
Isn't it? It's just so. I'm like, oh yeah, so I'm gonna do this and that. I have to do the laundry. Then, oh yeah, I'm supposed to. And I'm like talking. I'm talking to like loud, and I'm like inside voice. Sylvia, go back to the inside voice.
Voice.
I don't need to be talking. Like I didn't need to say the words. It's in my head. But I'm like, no, no, I can't become like my mom because it's crazy. She's just like constantly
Mhm.
talking to herself. When she's here, I'm like, what is that? So weird.
Yeah, that's the one thing also I'm starting to do, but I think that's a good thing because so my mom when she travels, she packs 3 weeks in advance her baggage, her luggage.
Oh, no way I would do that.
I know she opened one luggage and every day she puts something. She's like, this way I never forget anything. Except one day she
Mm.
forgot the bottle of champagne. She was saying, oh, I'm gonna bring it up. She didn't. She never brought it. Anyway,
Oh, the main
so
thing.
yeah, exactly. So I think when we went to Guadeloupe, not 3 weeks in advance, but I think like even like 2 days before I started packing, especially when I'm packing for
Mm.
like 3 people, okay? Because husband they have to pack for themselves, we have
Oh
to
yeah,
pack for for the whole family, right?
yeah.
So yeah, I started packing. I think Naomi's stuff, so packing her stuff because I don't want to forget anything for her. It's really important. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh my god, I'm like my mom.
I know, like doing the same thing,
Right.
packing in advance.
Oh my
I still
god.
pack one day before. Definitely one day before. Sometimes on the day of the trip,
Oh
but
no, the day of.
if it's a big trip like that, I can't. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, no, the day of
too
it's
irresponsible.
stressful. Stressful because you're like, oh my god. It's not like okay, see, if something is missing, I will buy it. Where we're going. I'm not going, to the desert or whatever. But
Yeah,
yeah, the day before at least, yeah.
yeah.
I know that if you look like your mom or your dad, but so I never met my dad, so and I never looked like my mom when I was young, so I know that I look more. Sorry, from my dad's uh, side. One day, maybe like 10 years ago, I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I did something with my mouth, and I'm like, my mom, like here, like not the
Oh
top,
yes, uh-huh, uh-huh.
the other this, and I was like, oh my god, and I'm like, okay, now I start looking like her physically, but with
Mhm.
time, because I never did really look like her, and with time I start to look like her now physically. I'm like, oh, that's my mom.
Yeah, I mean, you start getting older, then you look more like your parents, I think, right? Like that's like, oh, that's how they look like. I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, I've noticed that too.
Yeah, huh?
Definitely. And I sometimes I'm like, do I look more like my dad, like my mom? But I catch myself looking in the mirror and I'm like, this is my dad. Am I looking like
Oh,
my
your
dad
dad.
now? My God, it's just so
Hey,
weird.
as long as you do have the beard, it's okay.
Yeah, please. No, this is a whole nother topic. But no. The 40 plus episode that we're gonna do
Oh yeah,
about some unpleasant things. But
yeah.
what else we have? I mean, I think like I catch myself complaining about the house the way my mom did. Look at this mess,
Hmm.
there's always like I do something 10 minutes later. I remember her always saying like I just washed the dishes and then there's like five glasses in the
Oh yeah.
inside the sink already. And I'm like doing the same thing, complaining about the same thing. When the kids don't eat and then they go
Mm-hmm.
to their friend's house and all of a sudden something they said they would never eat. They go to their friend's house and like, oh, I like this now. And I'm like, oh, now you do. We have the same thing here, but it didn't eat. But when you go to the, and I remember doing that same thing when I was a kid.
It's
I'm like,
always
oh,
better,
I had that. It's so
Yeah,
good. My friend's house, even like
it's
her
always
rice and the friend's rice and beans they said out better than hers. Like something like, it's so
better at the front
tasty.
house. Sorry.
Always, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So you end up
Uh, the,
saying the same thing, like kind of like repeating the same lines, like to the kids, which is really funny how it goes. It's just like that cycle, never ending
I know.
parenting.
Yeah. The thing I think also I'm really like is I'm trying to change that a little bit. Very very stubborn. When I believe something, you really have to show me. A plus B plus C, that's
Oh,
not
I
that's
see.
what
You're
I
like
believe is
that
not right.
with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
politics. I see that.
I need, yeah, but that's normal. Politics. Yes, Sylvia, yes.
Yeah, I cannot say anything different.
Yeah.
No, no, this is what it is. No, 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 I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I
No, no,
see the
not
stubborn part. Yeah,
not
but
different, but I want to see some proof that okay, what I'm thinking, or what I'm believing is not true. Okay, give me some proof.
mhm.
Actually, there's something about politics. We can talk about it later. That I just learned recently, and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. All right, so that's in your camp, by the way.
Okay, good.
So yeah, so for that, because my mom, oh no, no, she's worse than me. She's like I said something last time, like it was like a French expression when we were in Guadeloupe. I said something, she's like, what? What is that? And I'm like, you never heard that expression? And she's like, no, you made it up.
Oh,
I'm like, what?
excuse me.
Yeah, the same expression in English, you know, when you realize something and we say, oh, I had an epiphany. Do you
Uh-huh.
know that expression? You know that expression, right? I had an
Well, more in
epiphany.
English, not in Portuguese. I don't think we have
Okay.
that in Portuguese. Yeah.
So it exists in French. I used to say that in French before I even learned it in English, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said that. I said, oh, I had an epiphany. She's like, a what? I had an epiphany. She's like, but that means she was thinking about, the holiday, the holiday thing. And I'm like, yeah, but that's also an expression. We had to check in a dictionary to tell her. I had to send her a link to a French dictionary to tell her, see, yes, it does exist. Yeah, people say that, and this is the right way to say it. She didn't for like the whole day. She said, no, no, you made it up. We don't say that in
You
France.
made it up.
And yeah, and Pascal was like, oh, maybe, and even him, he knew the expression. He was in doubt. I'm like, maybe your mom is right. Maybe it's something we took from English, and we thought it was French because we say it in
Mm-hmm.
English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, no, no. I said that in French. I know I did. And the following day, I show her the proof, and she's like, oh, okay, I learned something today. She's like, okay, okay. You show me the
Oh,
proof.
okay, good. Yeah.
But the whole time she didn't believe me. She's like, no, 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 you made that up.
Stubborn. Oh, wow. Yeah,
Very
like my
stubborn.
mom definitely not like that. It's just my mom is so like calm. I can even like in that
Mhm.
sense compare like then with the personality, and I totally took after my dad with the. And I mean, if you believe, you don't believe too much in signs, but he's a Scorpio and I'm Capricorn, so it kind of like
Mhm.
they're famous for having that little bit of a temper
Yeah,
or like strong opinions about things.
yeah.
But my mom is just like very sensitive with everything and cries about everything. Very,
Oh, really?
very like
Mm.
emotional type of yeah, and very like motherly. Like does that like it's just like house. That's all that she cares about and raising a
Oh,
family.
yeah.
So it's like
Okay.
a different different way of knows like all these things that they learn and we don't learn. We never learn how to do like so how to fix things like like if you have a
Mm.
something on your clothes and you want it fixed, you have to take it to a dry cleaner, pay a fortune for them to fix it. Like
I know.
the sewing of
Mm.
a. My mom used to do that all the time, and all my grandma and everybody else. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do that. Do I need to take a course? Like
Yeah,
those
you do,
things
I
that are
think.
just. I think it would be actually good,
You have to
to
take a course
learn.
because, yeah, I think my mom, she does now. She's retired, so she has time, and she bought a sew machine, and she's taking classes. And she made a dress last time. She was like, "Look, I made that. I made that." I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
"Wow, yeah,
nice.
yeah, that was very nice." So
Yeah,
yeah,
at least to learn like the basics, because
hmm,
they did so much, and I just feel like everything else because they did it for us. I just never. But my mom never pushed to teach me to do those things, so I'm like, okay, fine,
yeah.
I
One
won't do
thing
it then.
I regret now, if when I was like around 15, 16, my mom every time she was because she loves to cook. She loves to cook Caribbean food all the time. Like every weekend we had Caribbean food. And every Saturday or Sunday, she was like, okay, stay with me in the kitchen. I'm going to show you. Stay with me. This is how we do this. This is how we do that. I don't care. I have to stay in the kitchen for an hour looking at you putting stuff in the pot. What to do? Like on TV.
Yeah, just shows to watch,
Show
have
to
this
watch. Have to hang out at the mall.
CD to listen to, like all these things.
CD, listen to Madonna and George Michael.
Yeah, and George Michael.
And I regret now because now if I want to do something, I can do some stuff, but I need to go online and check, if I have all the ingredients. When my mom, she doesn't have anything, everything is in her mind. She knows how to do everything in her
Oh,
mind,
so
right?
she's a good cook. Your mom likes to cook,
Oh,
is she?
yes. She loves to cook. She's a very, very good cook. She cooked for us the whole time we're in Guadeloupe, like every day. She made meals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's a very good one. And I'm like, just for the Caribbean food, if I want to do something very Caribbean, I have to check online, the recipe. It's not like she knows what to put,
Yeah.
and she doesn't check, how much of whatever, spice I have to put in there. But
Yeah.
because I would like to pass that over to Eden, so maybe I should get on it now. Because she's asking now she wants to learn how to cook. Actually, she's been asking for like a while.
To learn, yeah. I learned just by watching because my mom, since everything was fine with her, she would not push us to do stuff. So if it wasn't for her, she was like, "Come on, let's go watch this and that." I just like watching her. Really, like I wanted to watch. It's a funny thing. Like, oh, you do what? Oh, you do it like this? Okay, but it wasn't like doing for like the whole time. You're just like looking how she was making it, and I'm like, okay, and then come back and then another time. And my grandma was the big one who really cooked all kinds of food. My mom was very good with sweets and desserts and baking. That I never really cared because I don't like to bake. I think it's so much work. No, I don't.
It's a lot of work. I like to bake actually.
Yeah,
I remember with my brother, we used to bake all the time. Used to make the same cake all the time.
Oh yeah.
One cake we like to make, we make it all the time. Yeah, I like to bake actually. I mean, I don't mind cooking right now, but the Caribbean food, yeah, it's kind of different. I mean,
I cook Brazilian food, yeah, but I remember how it was cooked, and then I just find on the internet if I have any, or I ask my mom, like, so how do you make that thing? Like, what are the ingredients? And I make tons of stuff Brazilian. The kids like it too. So
no, good. They have to, because if you go back home, they don't want to be surprised by the difference of the food and be like, oh, I don't want to eat that. If you never eat that at home, you're like, I don't like that. You're gonna eat those rice and beans right now, okay?
Oh, they are. They're going to. Michael loves it. So
yeah.
I don't know about the others too. They're just picky eaters, but yeah, it's good. Like the cooking, I feel like most of the people, if you're very into baking, you're not that much into cooking, or vice versa. I've noticed that if you really like baking, you're not. My mom was more baker, but not a great cook. Like, oh my god, amazing! She cooked, and she just says like she cooked because she had to. But me, I enjoy more cooking, but then I don't like baking. So I think there is that. Yeah, we should do a research. Maybe post it online on social media. What do you prefer? Or if you bake, can you cook if you bake?
Yeah, she does both, but she cooks more than she bakes for sure. But she likes to do some dessert, but she's more like a salty than a sweetie, like a sweet tooth, So I think she's more into the cooking side for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we covered a lot about from road rage to cooking and baking. So that was great.
And everything. Thank you for listening, guys. Don't forget to follow us if you're a new listener on Instagram and also on YouTube, and share the podcast with your friends, please.
Yes, please share, and we'll talk again next Monday. Bye. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to High Vibes and a Mic. Until next time, laugh hard, stay silly, and never forget to bring your sense of humor. Please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest.